So I thank you for the opportunity to make those comments and would be pleased to take a few questions. Okay?
Just to clear up any confusion over this, could you just explain a little bit about the September 8th meeting, who on your staff was there, and what was discussed with the Russian ambassador?
The Russian ambassador apparently sent a staffer to my office. I did not see him, and asked for a meeting, as so many of the ambassadors were doing. And we set up a time, as we normally did, and we met with him. Two of my senior staffers were there, and maybe a younger staff or two, and they both retired Army colonels and not politicians. And we had we listened to the ambassador and to what his concerns might be. Well, it was just normal things, such as I started off by saying, I don't remember a lot of it, but I do remember saying I'd gone to Russia with a church group in 1991, and he said he was not a believer himself, but he was glad to have church people come there. Indeed, I thought he was pretty much of an old-style Soviet-type ambassador. And so we talked a little bit about terrorism, as I recall. And somehow the subject of the Ukraine came up. I had the Ukrainian ambassador in my office the day before, and to listen to him, nothing that Russia had done nothing that was wrong in any area, and everybody else was wrong with regard to the Ukraine. It got to be a little bit of a testy conversation at that point. It wrapped up. He said something about inviting me to have lunch. I did not accept that, and that never occurred. But most of these ambassadors are pretty gossipy, and they liked, this was in the campaign season, but I don't recall any specific political discussions. All right.
Meetings. Do you recall meeting with Ambassador Kislyak any other times?
I don't recall having met him. I mean, it's possible. I'm on Armed Services Committee and things happen, but I don't recall having met him before those two meetings. I think ambassadors are always out trying to find out things and advance their agenda. Most of the countries that ambassadors I met with, they would lay out the case for Ukraine, would lay out its case, Poland laid out its case, Latvia, Lithuania, Hungary, Japan, Canada, Australia. I met with all of those ambassadors over the year, and so I think that's why.
Have you met with any other Russian officials or folks connected to the Russian government since you endorsed Donald Trump?
I don't believe so. We meet a lot of people, so. One more question and we'll wrap this up.
Two questions, if I may. One, you were already considering recusal before today, is that correct? And secondly, when you answered Senator Franken's question, were you just not thinking of the meeting with the Russian ambassador, or did you not consider it relevant?
I was taken aback a little bit about this brand new information, this allegation that surrogates, and I had been called a surrogate for Donald Trump, had been meeting continuously with Russian officials, and that's what it struck me very hard, and that's what I focused my answer on. And in retrospect, if I should have slowed down and said, but I did meet one Russian official a couple of times, that would be the ambassador. Thank you all. Take care.
Should the American public and voters expect years and years of more investigations and committee hearings into things that you believe